Well, hello squad, welcome back to my channel. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that Emily and I got to go to yard sales on Saturday. I shared her things on my Instagram story because she had much less than me. Typically, whenever we go, I find more things just because I have kids, and so there are more things typically that I'm looking for. It's not always the case, but sometimes that happens. So I just wanted to sit down and share my finds with you today. I mentioned at the beginning of this year that I wrote out my list so that I know what I'm trying to stick to. If you don't have a list, or if you've never made one before, I have a video on how to make a list. And then I also have a separate video where I talk about what's on my list. So I will link both of those down in the description box below. So on this particular day, we went to a community sale, which if you are familiar with yard sailing, that is the golden opportunity to find a lot of yard sales without having to drive very far and using a lot of your gas. It's basically the same concept as going to a mall versus going to a lot of freestanding stores. So just think about it that way. Anytime you see community, multifamily, neighborhood, all of those things mean that you're going to be able to find multiple yard sales within a short radius. This actually happened to be a huge neighborhood. So what I'm going to do is go in order of our stops, so that way I can show you sort of how I grouped the items. I'd like to be able to show you kids' clothes all together, my clothes all together, but that would be really hard for me to figure out how much I paid per item, because one thing that I do to get a good deal is I batch things together, and so I will combine things and say, what is your best price for this? I actually just did a reel on Instagram this week about how to bargain and different phrases to use if you're new to that. So if you're not following me on Instagram, that is at Yard Sale Squad. Okay, let's get into it. How much did I spend today? Today I spent a grand total of $22. Now, if we break that down, on this particular trip, I purchased 38 items. So I took my $22 spent and I divided it by 38 items. And so that ended up telling me that if I were to average this out, I spent an average of 58 cents per item. Now, of course, I didn't pay the same price for every item, but I think that can be really helpful if you don't know if you're really getting a good deal or not. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, total up your spending and total up the items and divide it out and see how much you spent per item. The way that I like to gauge it is, did I spend less than I would spend at my local thrift store? If you're going to a yard sale, you should be spending less than thrifting. All right, so let's get into it. The first stop, I bought some clothing items for me and I bought some clothing items for Andy. So at the first stop, I spent $5. The first thing that I got was this Columbia jacket. This is for me. I have tried it on. It does fit. It's navy. It has a hood. And I don't think that it is a rain jacket. I don't think that it is waterproof, but it is still a nice jacket. It's got a zipper. It's got 2 pockets in the front. So I think that I'll definitely get some use out of this. Unfortunately, the other item that I got at this yard sale did not work. I actually kind of had a panic attack trying to try it on and get it off because it was way too tight. But I will show it to you, and what I plan to do is try to resell this. I've actually been looking for something like this for some time, and so I was really kind of disappointed that it didn't fit. But I've seen a lot of photos where people pair a little dainty cami like this that's sort of a silk material with more of a chunky knit on top, which you guys know I love chunky cardigans. So I thought that that would be a nice thing to have. However, it is J. Crew and the size is 00. Well, I thought, you know, it's loose and flowy looking, maybe it will be a little forgiving. Well, it definitely was not. So when I run into snags like this, I am just going to take a photo of it. I'm going to put it up on Poshmark or Mercari or any of those reselling platforms that you choose. And I'm just going to try to price it at a fair price where I can at least make my money back. If I make a little bit of a profit, that's great. You guys know that that's something that I'm trying to get into more. But since this didn't work, if I can at least get what I put into it, then that's fine with me. Okay, and then I mentioned I got some things for Andy. So the first thing was this Carter's 2T jacket. It's in great shape. It's got like a quilting detail, and I love the floral pattern. So I will be putting that back for her. With kids' clothes, I usually try to limit it to the size they're in or the next size up. 2T is a little bit beyond where she is right now, but I usually try to limit it between those next couple of sizes they're going to be. I got her a pair of play pants. These are just gray with white polka dots. Because she needs some things in this next size up. And then I did get 2 pairs of fleece footy pajamas. We love pajamas. We go through them a lot. So these are Carter's. One is 18 months and one is 2T. I've mentioned this before, but anytime that you see play clothes or pajamas in your kids' sizes, I would advise go ahead and picking them up. They're not something that have to be super polished. As long as they're in good condition, I would recommend going ahead and getting them. And then the last thing I got at that yard sale was this Melissa and Doug puzzle. So this is one of the ones that makes noises whenever you take the pieces out and put them back in. And Andy is getting more and more into interactive things like this, so I bought this for her. All right, so that was the first yard sale for $5. Some other great things to find at yard sales are books and also learning things for your kids, learning tools, learning materials. So we found a yard sale that actually had a lot of books and a lot of preschool workbooks that looked brand new. So at this stop, I ended up spending $2. And for that $2, I got 5 children's books. 3 of them are little critters books because we really enjoy those and we're adding to our collection. I got this Tractor Mac book because my son likes tractors. And then I got this Arthur book about manners matter. Number 1, because I love Arthur. And number 2, because we are getting to that age where learning about manners is really important. I got 2 of these dot-to-dot workbooks. They were unmarked in, and Abram already started working on one during church this morning, and within doing 1 or 2 of them, he had gotten the hang of it, and it was so fun to watch his little mind work, and it was so cute to watch his little brain work as he connected the numbers in the correct order. So I got 2 of those. I also got this Numbers 1 through 12 workbook. Again, unmarked in, and it goes through lots of writing and tracing skills. And then I also got this Same or Different book. It's all about grouping and learning opposites. The last 2 things I got at that sale were this Usborne, is that how you pronounce it? Build a Picture Train sticker book. Emily actually spotted this one, and it does have some of the stickers put in place, but some of them can still be used in the book. So I went ahead and got that for Abram. And with things like this, you can always get them, and you know, if the book is used up but there are still stickers, you can always use them in crafting applications as well. And then the last thing I got, she had a box of books, and I said, are there any of these that you would highly recommend? And she recommended this one. It is more of a business leadership type book, and it says, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. It is by Marshall Goldsmith. So I'm just going to give it a chance and, you know, see how it goes. But if anybody has read this book or knows someone who has read this book, let me know. I did forget, I got 2 more things at that sale, and they're not with me because Abram has already been playing with them, but I'll insert clips of them here. One is a Frisbee, which I thought with the temperatures warming up would be a good thing to have. And then one was this little sensory thing. I'm not even sure what you call it, but I loved playing with these when I was little, and he has already had so much fun playing with this. The next stop was all about Andy. I spent $8 and got her 13 items of clothing. So I will just insert pictures of a few of the pieces here. Like I said, some of them are just play clothes, but I went ahead and tried to pick up things that I thought would be useful or my style or just play clothes or whatever. The next item that I found was this really fun slide. I've been looking for something like this for my kids that we could play with outside but also inside, and this was priced at $3. I actually bargained it for $2, and my kids already love it. One of the ladies had a lot of leggings at her yard sale, and I found this pair that is sort of like a heathered maroon color. They are the brand Tech Gear, and they were priced at $3, and I bargained them for $2. The next yard sale, I also only bought 1 item, and it was this puddle jumper. If you stuck around here a while, you might have seen me mention that I got a separate puddle jumper, and that was for when Abram was little. So now I have one for each of my kids, and both of them were bought at yard sales. I think Abram's might have been 50 cents or $1, and this one cost me $2. when you look at things like this, really try to know and pay attention to what they retail for. Puddle jumpers sell for a lot. They retail for a lot brand new. So that is why I always say, whenever you are making your list, look at the trajectory of your year. Look at the seasons coming up. Look at the things that you and your kids, your family might need or might want. And yard sales are a great place to find those things. And the last things that I got were some play items for Abram. I paid $1 for both of these. So together I paid $1. And I got this Melissa and Doug wooden tractor with a little cart behind it. And this little front load scoop moves up and down. So I got that. And then Emily actually spotted this little golf cart, and my husband does golf. And Abram doesn't have anything like this yet. So I thought that that would be really fun for him to add to his little collection of vehicles. All right, squad, thank you so much for watching this haul. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that it inspires you to find some yard sales around your home this year. If you want to know more about secondhand shopping or our life as a family, you can click that red subscribe button below. I love sharing about healthy meals. I love sharing about meal planning. I love sharing about yard sales and thrifting and just living affordably and simply. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon.